Welcome to the About Mansfield Consumer Advice Series, and as we do every Friday, we bring in our financial philosopher. That would be Phillip Washington Jr. He's the host of Wealth Building Made Simple, a podcast that you can hear on your favorite podcast player. Today, we are talking about the advantages of investing in innovation. What does that mean? Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. It's Phillip Washington Jr. on the Consumer Advice Series. Say hello to the Mansfieldians.
Good morning, Mansfieldians. How y'all doing?
And yeah. I'm a little tongue-tied because I stayed up late last night.
Yeah. I wish we could have stayed a little longer.
Yeah, we had a good time last night.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So today's topic, I think is pretty cool because things are changing. Life is changing, and to stay on top of that with investments is important. And the advantages of investing in innovation is your topic today. And so let's just go ahead, and I've already teed it up. Now it's your turn. And how do we invest, and how do we stay ahead of the curve?
Yeah, so in investments, when you want to gain an advantage, you want to be positioned ahead of the crowd. And I don't know of any better way to position yourself from an investment standpoint other than to embrace innovation, embrace change, because in change there are blind spots, meaning whenever something changes, something's getting destroyed and something is getting new life. And since the thing that's getting destroyed has the majority of eyeballs looking from that perspective, a lot of people are going to miss the opportunity because they're going to be afraid of it. They're going to say, oh, this new technology or innovation is bad because X, Y, Z, I hate it. They're going to judge it. And for those with an open mind that participate in it with their business and or their money, they get the disproportionate of gains because the crowd is coming. They just, like human nature is to resist change.
Right.
And that's where the profit lies.
And all right, so let's get into some examples. What are some current day innovation or technology, or what are some let's talk about innovation.
Yeah, so we'll go to one, artificial intelligence, right, which is, we talked about on my podcast. That's how we came up with the name or the title of the podcast, specifically the new Chat GPT app that everybody's raving about. The possibilities for artificial intelligence are unlimited. But what's basically happening as humans is we always do this. We did it with computers. We did it with calculators, right? We did it with machines. But we're taking parts of our conscious thinking process, a lot of the analyzation, the sorting and sifting through data, the organizing data, the simplifying data, the how to do this, the research, right? That can be simplified by artificial intelligence because they can sort through information at a fraction, a super small fraction of the time that we can. And so that frees up our time to be more creative and create more cool stuff. And we can download that information onto artificial intelligence at a very low cost, right? Because when we delegate today conscious thinking processes to other humans, that's a big cost and it's not super scalable. So,
right.
So that's happening not in the future, like now. Right, I recommend everybody download the app and see what it can do, and you can realize, like in my business now, it freed up a few $1,000s a month of cost that I don't have, and hours of time per week using this artificial intelligence app to help me create more content.
Well, I have a client that was in the studio yesterday recording his podcast, and he was interviewing a guest who was so new in this innovation that he was putting together. He didn't have a business name. And so the client, the host of the podcast, said, well, why don't we go on Chat GPT? And they entered 10 business names and then they talked about specifically the industry that he was in. And my gosh, the suggestions that came back were brilliant, and according to the website is free. The app costs money, but yeah, we logged on to the website, and up came a list of 10 business names, and it was free.
Crazy. And go ahead.
Well, I was going to move on to the next, but if you have
yeah, I was going to also throw in one topic I didn't talk about on my podcast, which was genomics, right? And that's something that I haven't talked about before, but that technological revolution is going to prolong and save lives. Also reduced a ton of costs in the healthcare system. Because if you think about, and I appreciate doctors, I love doctors, right?
Yeah.
They're amazing, they're wonderful, but so much money goes to the redundancy and the overinflated costs paid to providers, where they like are all looking at the same information multiple times and billing us for it, right? And when you understand what a medical professional is doing, they're looking at data and they are making an estimation of what treatment you need. Well, artificial intelligence is way better than that, because they can scan all the data in an instant and then pop out the top 3 treatments that should be done. And the healthcare providers that hop on that, from a business standpoint, they can eliminate a lot of costs in redundant costs in their system, pass that along to customers, gain market share, and it lowers the cost and delivers better quality healthcare to the masses, because the genomics ability to scan all the data and scan our DNA and find things faster than a human can do is not in the future. It's here today. I mean, in the next decade, cancers, from our perspective, when you get deep into it, it's pretty much cured. I mean, it's not going to be the thing that takes out so many of us a decade from now.
So you've got genomics, and then you've got artificial intelligence. Could Chat GPT be the next WebMD? You upload you type in these are my symptoms, and artificial intelligence has the answers.
For basic stuff, yeah. I do think people are going to always want an expert, but I think the right genomics does use artificial intelligence. But I mean, what I'm saying is, today we go to an expert for a lot of things, right? We go to an expert for law, we go to an expert for medicine, healthcare, we go to an expert for finances, and I don't think we're going to like stop depending on people. I just think like you take the physician that has a staff cost of, I'm just making up a number, $1 million, right? Mm-hmm. And then a company like OpenAI, who owns ChatGPT, comes in and says, "Hey, listen, what you're basically paying for is brain power, right? So you're paying $1 million a year for brain power. Just pay us $200,000 a year for our software, and you can cut out $800,000 of cost."
That's not
right?
a bad idea.
And pass that along to your customers, right? Pass some, you keep some as profit, right? But I mean, that's the capability of what it's doing across the board in every industry.
Yeah. In the interest of time, we've only got a couple of minutes left here. What are some other innovation ideas that people can think about investing in?
Absolutely. I'm just going to list them: digital commerce, digital wallets, blockchain, Bitcoin, utility tokens, non-fungible tokens, energy's changing, autonomous transportation, 3D printing, orbital space. I mean, and within each of those categories are like infinite amount of ways where you can invest and make money that are like not 10-year trends, 20-year trends. I'm talking hundreds of years of trends from an impact standpoint, because everything in the world is changing.
There you go. Phillip Washington Jr., our financial philosopher, and we love having you in every Friday because you've always got a fresh perspective on and it's real quick. Last night we were at an event. You were talking to the young people. I was talking to someone about Bitcoin last night, and this woman said, "I don't understand it. I need something tangible. I need a $20 bill in my hand. I need something that I can put into my wallet." And And I didn't know how to respond to her. It's like, okay, it's like our little secret.
And when people say that, I say, I understand how you feel, because that's what you're used to, but like your grandparents preferred something else than what you prefer, right? And the world changed with or without them. And so like feel how you feel, but if you want to participate in future wealth, you got to open your mind.
Yeah.
And I just see how they respond, right? Some people say, most people get it. They go, oh, okay. And then they can hear it. But those who don't, that's fine. Like life waits for no one.
That's right. If someone wanted to reach out to Phillip Washington Jr. to talk about life and Bitcoin and innovation, how can they reach out to you?
The best place is stonehillwealthmanagement.com. That is stonehillwealthmanagement.com.
That is Phillip Washington Jr. We do this every Friday morning, live on Facebook, videos on YouTube and LinkedIn, or on the audio version, your favorite podcast platform. Phillip, have a great weekend. Let's do it again next week.
All right. Looking forward to it. Thanks.
We appreciate you listening to the About Mansfield Consumer Advice Series. By the way, if you own a business and you are interested in being a part of the Consumer Advice Series, if you have the knowledge to give information in 10-minute increments to the consumers, shoot me an email to info@aboutmansfield.com. Again, that is info@aboutmansfield.com. We'll tell you how we can get you all set up. Appreciate it. We do it again next week right here on the podcast.